Oh, well, hello. Welcome to Speedy Tuesday. It is I, Dirk. Dirk Weekdays, starting the week out. Yesterday we did watch Fashion Police. Thanks for everybody who chimed on in. We had a lot of fun yesterday. It was an off-the-cuff kind of show. We usually have like lots of content all ready to go, and we kind of just wung it yesterday. Is that a correct conjugation? We wung it. Fling, flung, wing, wong. But yeah, we had a really good time. So hey everybody, I'm in New York City, as most of you are well aware, and we had a nor'easter. I'm gonna put this down a little bit. Was it the blizzard of 2024? It was not. It was pretty while it was falling, and it's over now. So here comes the black and gray slush that New Yorkers are so accustomed to. We're just going to have probably a week, because it's not going to get really warm. We're going to have a week or two of just crud, gray crud, to go along with rats and shitty infrastructure and all the things that make New York so special. How are you all doing? Let's see who's in the chats. Let's start the night off with Andrew. Canadian, $10. Working till 5:30. Everybody should give an upvote to our favorite former bartender. Also share the show with friends and subscribe. Well, guys, we hit 2,000. We did it on Friday, just post the show. And I can't tell you how chuffed I am, elated, in better parlance. Wow. You know, when Sheen suggested to I, along with several other luminaries who shall remain nameless, they're the kind of special people that push you behind the scenes. You know who you are. Give you daily pep talks and phone calls and say, hey, you know, this is what's going on with the show. But beforehand, they were all like, you know, it's time for you to spread your wings and start the show by yourself. You know, Sheen's got all that content he's doing, and you know, he can't do a daily show. And I didn't think I could do a daily show either. And then the big thing happened up when I got unfriended from the farmer and had some time on my hands, and they were like, you know, it's time to do it. And I can't thank you all enough for pushing me in that direction, because I absolutely love the show. I love you guys. You guys have been nothing but spectacular so far. The troll count has been minimum, which kind of scared me a little bit, because I saw what, you know, goes on in other friends' channels, you know, cuckoo birds and all kinds of weirdness. And so far, this community that we're building step by step here has just been nothing but fantastic. And it's funny because it's not centrally localized. Yes, I come from, you know, like being a contributor to the watch world, but this isn't a watch centric channel. Perhaps we're interested in watches. We all are. But this community has been about everything from cats to cooking to baking to motorcycles and cars and your wine collection. And I think that's even more fun, because it gives us something to talk about on the daily, something new, your experiences, and like, it's viewer driven. You know, I was the first like 2 weeks, I was coming up with topics and lining up special guests and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't really feel like it was going anywhere until I realized I had the light bulb went off in my head. It's like, well, why don't we just let the viewers, as small as they were at the time, and believe me, they're a lot bigger now. You guys have come in numbers now. Now it's viewer driven. We take the curve, the left, because I'm a left curve. You know, I'll hit that at a hairpin turn. But you guys have been doing that for me. So thank you. Thank you for helping the content of this show and making it fun, making it more fun. It's a lighter, friendlier show than, say, Classic Bashers, where we get serious and, you know, throw out adjectives that normally I would reserve. But, you know, that guy gets my goat. He knows how to get me going. And that's the basis. You know, our friendship for the last 25 years has been a conversation. And that conversation expanded and turned into Bashers, the first iteration, which nobody knows about, but it's on Apple Music. You can go listen to it. It's audio only. But, I was just like, I would like a more comfortable, warm place, with a Snuggie and your cat or your dog and a glass of wine and place to just unwind or vent. You can vent. I do talk about certain things that drive me bananas, like I titled Revisionist History and I got a pop screen. I got the obligatory pop screen, and I'll tell you why I got it. I got it because I banged my Milgauss twice on the mic, and that I can't let that happen. I'm not wearing the Milgauss tonight, but I don't want to bang the Speedy either. Um, just a couple of things I've been watching. Super Bowl. I didn't watch the game because I'm gay, dude. What the fuck do I care about that? I like the spectacle. I did watch the national anthem, Reba McEntire. I did watch Usher's halftime show. Uh, like I said, I wouldn't know an Usher song if it hit me with a truck. I wouldn't. I don't. No idea what that guy does. Know who he is. Know he was a really big star. Know he discovered Justin Bieber, right? I think that he did. However, I wouldn't know any of his music. So I watched it, and what I took away from this was the following. Because you guys know how much I hate lip syncing and auto tune. I think it's gross, and I don't think anybody should pay for that. You go to a show, and I don't mind if there's pre-recorded orchestra. I don't mind if there's keyboards. In the industry, we call it the toaster. You have a toaster running. My band's done it. We went on tour in Europe years and years ago before everybody was doing it, and I was a geeky guy, so we had like orchestral shit all over our record, and I just couldn't figure out a way to do it. So finally I took a mini disc player and split the channel in half, and I won't bore you with the technical aspect of it. That doesn't bother me. If there's like small little things that enhance a performance, I don't mind. Like you go to see a band and all of a sudden you hear all these great cellos and violins, and there's no cellist and no violinist. That's okay. But when people get up there and they're completely faking it, I just think that you should get your money back, or it should be printed on the ticket. This concert contains pre-recorded information, because you can watch that on TV. You don't have to shell out the big giant bucks. Imagine if you went to see U2 at the Sphere. And I know people who did, lots of people, including my first guest. Well, I can't say I didn't have a guest because Dana's been on. They're paying thousands of dollars to go to Vegas. That show is expensive. It's expensive. I understand it's this big, immersive, crazy experience where the band is really small, but it's not about just the band. It's about the whole thing. The sights, the sounds, the smells. I heard they even pipe in some kind of strange sense there. But imagine if they got up there and Bono was lip syncing. I would totally walk out and want my money back. I don't know about you, but I totally would. Nathaniel Hannon, $1.99. I claim cuckoo bird status. Always the funny one. Always the funny one. Let's look at a little bit of. I'll rant in a minute. Carolyn says, Andrew, you're a legend. Because listen, Andrew starts out every show with a contribution and gets your blood boiling, gets you rolling, and I can't thank him enough for that. He does it every time. Carolyn says, also upvote everyone if you can. Ray, upvote. Got some emails to share with you all, wrist shots and cat shots and bike shots, etc. Dean says, yeah, Bashis has hit the 2K mark. Yeah, well, here we go, 2K and now the future. I'd love to have one of those little the silver or platinum plaques or whatever the hell it is, and people will get it. Dana says no. Is that no to lip syncing? No. Yeah. So she's in town, and we hung out after. Ooh, okay. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that. You don't mind, right, Dana? You don't care. BW says, greetings, BW. Jim Lassick, the incomparable Jim Lassick. Congratulations, Dirk. Thank you so much. It's because of people like you, Jim. I love your emails. I love your wrist shots. I love all the stuff you've been sharing with us. Thank you so much for giving me something to expound upon. Angelo Minichiello, good early evening. Congrats with an award. That's very nice. Stephen Kelleher is here. Congrats on the 2000. Thanks so much. Thanks. Ray says, Dirk, I like the shape of your skull. I'm a little scared now. What does that mean? I like the shape of your skull. It sounds like it puts the lotion on its skin. Tom Voss, in the house, lighter and friendlier. Lighter and friendly. That's where we're headed, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Sorry, I love One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Okay. Everybody's favorite right-wing pundit. It is Andre Day is an awesome artist, but the Black National Anthem is dumb. I'm gonna play stupid here because I was talking to a friend. Let's get to that in a second. I just don't want to miss Scotty H's lovely contribution. 61 degrees here in Oklahoma. Wow, 61 in Oklahoma City right now. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Well, brag. Were you? I know it's there. Kansas City is. I'm not quite sure. Kansas City's in Kansas, and it's like it's a border town, right? It belongs to two places, right? It does Kansas City and Kansas City, Oklahoma, and Kansas City, Kansas, right? Is that the truth? Yeah. I don't know. I'm very stupid when it comes to the middle of the country, but I want to learn some. I want to learn a little bit more. So, for my edification, if you could tell me exactly. Oh, Missouri, right? That's it. Missouri. Thank you so much, Scotty, for that. And Missouri. Is it Missouri or is it Missouri? And when you see that depicted in the old timey westerns, well, we're going to take that hill path down to Missouri way. And found my settlement there where Captain Jenkins is going to be. I'm going to go claim me my woman. Her name's Elaine down in Missouri. When you hear that, who says Missouri? Because I think it sounds cool. A lot of people are from St. Louis. John Hamm's from St. Louis. The Andy Cohen, who I don't know much about him, but I know he's always talking about how he's from there. Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals, second biggest winning baseball team in the history of. That's one thing this gay dude can do is talk baseball. The second winningest team in the history of baseballdom, second only to the Yankees. And my sister chimed in. She said Van Wyck. Okay, she knows more than me, and she's crazy information enabled. Okay. I didn't know that there was a Black national anthem, and that revisionist history that I wrote that had nothing to do with that. But it's a good thing we could all talk about, because I don't quite understand the Black national anthem. Of what nation is that? The Black nation, Black national anthem. Is that is that Star Spangled Banner adjacent? Because there was a song there that I have never heard personally in my life, and it was a kind of gospel ditty. I didn't hate it. I just didn't know what it was. And then somebody said it was the Black national anthem, and that just, do we have a national anthem or do we not have a national anthem? Is there a fight to take away the national anthem? Is this like Columbus Day? And I saw an article earlier about Columbus Day, which is not till October or whatever. And, that's a big deal in New York City because we have Columbus Circle. And, we all know that Columbus didn't really discover America with Leif Erikson, blah, 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 blah. However, this is a guy that, took his boat and, the Bahamas and Colombia, the country is named after him. This is a guy, when we were fucking savages, all of us were savages. If the list of people that did things that don't fit in today's, ridiculously strict woke curriculum, we would honor no one. we would honor no one. We would just erase the past, stick people into history where they don't believe, like signing of the Declaration of Independence. And there's a Chinese guy and an Indian guy and a black guy and a gay dude and his lesbian friend and blah, 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 blah. Those people were not around. They weren't. They are now. Learn from your mistakes. Listen to history. And learn from it. It's called evolution. We are evolving. We were fucking savages. We came over here and just, Native American Day. They want to change it to Indigenous American Day. Well, how about another day to honor the people that the savages came from Europe and murdered and just leave Columbus alone. Did he murder them? Probably. Him and his people did, but so did everybody else, because that's what they did back then, because they thought those people were savages. But it turns out there were these lovely, peaceable people that had lived in the land of milk and honey. And, then we came over and started saying, well, this place looks good. Let's take some of that. That shit's going on right now all over the place. We were savages, fucking savages. That's what we were. Let's not continue to be that. Let's learn from our history. I don't understand why we have to fucking fake history. It's like faking a guitar solo. And that goes out to you, her, Her, that girl who shows up and she's always lip syncing guitar solos, not impressed. It's just so stupid. And it just really bothered me when somebody said that. I said, that's so unnecessary. It's so, okay, so the United States of America hasn't, come to the table adequately. Listen, I'm a white dude, and I really have no say in the matter, because nobody listens to white guys anymore. And what's the point? We've had our way with it forever and ever and ever, but I haven't personally. Our forefathers, they're the people that ran the ships and ran the government and had their slaves. Let's look it up. I'm going to look this up, and this is going to be fun. Hold on, ready? And I'll share it with everybody. Machine says I should sing when I look something up, because it's easier. This is what I looked up this morning, and I could not believe it. So I'm going to share this with you guys. This is dark for a Tuesday, right? Speedy Tuesday. Speedy Tuesday. This is a list of the presidents who owned slaves. And they didn't do it because they were the worst people in the whole wide world. It's just that that's what everybody did back then, because that's the way the world was. Right or wrong, it's how it was. And it's terrible in hindsight. Of course it's terrible, owning another person. We've evolved, haven't we? George Washington, the father of our country. Thomas Jefferson, we all know about that. James Madison, James Monroe, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren. William Henry Harrison did not. Oh, no, Martin Van Buren did not. John Tyler, Polk, he was an asshole. He was a flip-flopper. Zachary Taylor. Andrew Johnson did not, and Grant did not. Isn't that crazy? That's the list of the guys that did it. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this shit. It's crazy. Listen, what I'm just saying, my dear people, is that let's move on. I don't know why everybody's got to rock the boat and blame everybody now for shit. And Columbus, he was a victim of his own time. He was a person of his own time. That's what they did back then. They came here. They wanted land. They killed people to get around it. It's absolutely nonsense. That's like everybody should start saying, you know how you dilute stock? Just say, I want a national anthem. I want the Irish gay dude, white guy national anthem. I don't want any of that shit. I don't. I like the Star Spangled Banner. It's a beautiful song. I love it when it's sung well, and it's not, oh, yeah, any of that riffy shit, the melisma that these people do to ruin everything. I don't get it. I don't really understand what the point of that is. What are your thoughts on that? Carlos Paggi and a UN since hello from Banbury. I don't know what that means, but hey, good to see you. Scotty H is close to Tulsa. My dad used to go to Tulsa a lot because he was an American Airlines guy, and they almost moved the entire company. Instead of Dallas, it almost went to Tulsa. Almost did. Topster says it started with the BLM riots. It's woke, pandering, divisive nonsense. I agree. It's nonsense. I think it's absolute fucking nonsense. No offense to any of my African-American friends and or viewers. I just think there's got to be a better way than dividing people more by having an anthem that I can't sing along to. Because what's the point of that? Something that unifies and brings everybody together is one thing. Maybe that means adding a verse. Ba-dum-bum. Not, but that verse doesn't say anything bad about anybody. It says rockets, red glare, and all that shit. Maybe it means something like that. Or just everybody be nicer. Just be fucking nicer. It's so stupid. Tobster also says the history of Native American tribes isn't peaceful at all. There was violence. Well, listen, we have absolutely no knowledge of what went on with them before we got here. So let's stop there. We have no idea. There's no history there. There's some great old teachings of blah blah blah, peace pipes and wigwams, and for the most part, other than territorial tribery, which goes on with any human. We talked about jealousy the other day, being one of the deadly sins. People are always jealous of what they don't have. So he has bigger wigwam. I want bigger wigwam. Am I going to get in trouble for doing that? Uh, while reading everybody's favorite Democrat, Alec Baldwin's book. And listen, he's a fucking amazing guy. Whether you disagree with him or not, he's a great artist, and his book is so fucking fantastic in so many ways. He never talks about himself. He just talks about like great other people. He just made some bad choices. That's all he's done. And his politics are a little whatever. But that's okay. Carolyn Martin says, there you go. I want an Italian American national anthem. Oh, but you're Carolyn Martin. Carolyn Martin wants an Italian American national anthem. Doesn't make any sense. Aren't you from Kerry? I thought you were, or Tipperary, right? Le Carré. It was nice that Vikings were not stupid enough to think that they were in India when they found Vinland. Yeah, I mean, we were barbarians. We were a culture of barbarianism. Everybody in the boat, but now we got to pay for all our sins now. Columbus did a lot of fucking amazing shit. He did a lot of terrible shit, but so did George Washington. President's Day, let's just fucking cut that one out now. President's Day's got to go bye-bye, because those guys, everybody, almost except for Lincoln, of course, but it's President's Day. It's everybody. That means Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald. It means everybody. It's President's Day. Let's put them all together. Nonsense. Volare, cantare, Volare is a perfectly good Italian-American national anthem. I would agree. JBB says, especially if sang by Dean. Dean, do you sing? Gonna come on the show. It's funny. That's really funny. Mark Wild, what did the Romans do for us? Hey, all empires fall, right? Rome fell. It was the glorious empire, the most glorious empire of all. But before that, there was the Byzantine Empire and the Ottoman Empire. All empires fall. And in Star Trek, you knew that was coming. They find this piece of wreckage, and it's got an American flag, and somebody says, what is that? Oh, this was when the North American continent was united in a country called the United States of America. Yeah. Dana O'Malley, you're right bad at them. What does that mean? You're right bad at them, except Irish. So the Dana story. So Dana came to town. I remember then when Dana came to town. No. What's on the song? Oh, Don't Cry Out Loud. Melissa Manchester. See, the metal dude knows weird music. So she came to town, and right after Bashers, I went into town and I met her. And we hung out till like 2:00 in the morning. And we didn't. There was no heavy, crazy drinking or anything. We had drank champagne because we were being very, very classy drinking the champers. She goes, "What are you in the mood for?" I said, "I'm in the mood for some champagne." She was drinking it already. Went there and I think we killed 2 bottles, but we met this girl whose name I don't remember. She was very nice, very not to earth, not a weirdo. She was staying in the hotel for a work event, and she was very, 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 very cool. Oh, yeah. And Dana O'Malley saw Alec Baldwin and Ilaria in the restaurant that they went to. And she goes, guess who I just saw? And I'm like, trying to think of who she just saw. And she wrote, Ilaria. I said, ask her how to say cucumber in English. Now, here's what I'm going to go on the record about Alec Baldwin, because I'm a fan. I think he's one of the funniest guys. 30 Rock, I mean, some of the most genius. It's After 6 Lemon. What do you think I am, a farmer? Some of the best comedy ever. He's the best comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and he's not even a comedian. He's super smart. He's a really good actor. He used to be the most handsome man in the world. He's just very, very left wing. And that's his only sin, other than, what the press do to him. And of course, this unfortunate event with with the shooting of Helena, and that was terribly tragic. And I think he handled it badly. I think his wife didn't do him any service. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when you said consider the source when people are talking about her, and not being from Spain? In his book, he says, my wife is from Spain. And this, because this book was written years ago. So he says, my wife is from Spain. So I wonder, when he met her, she obviously, because she's just a pathological liar, she just said, I'm from Spain. And how does one, and he has so many children with her, beautiful, beautiful kids. And she's probably not a bad person, because liars aren't bad people per se. They're just liars. And I don't think she probably meant to carry this internationally, globally. She probably did it to make her more interesting. She's from Boston. Little tiny a little white lie that exploded into whatever. But, I don't think she's been the best consigliere for him with this whole shooting and stuff. And that's a shame. So he saw her. She saw him and his wife. They were having dinner. Yeah, it's a shame. Franco Fiore says, upvote for Dirk, please upvote. And we'll talk about some exciting things that I'm planning on doing this week. Exciting because you asked for it, and it is Patreon, and I've gotten about 150 emails from everybody over the last couple of weeks, and then I've discussed it with my consigliere about, well, I don't think I'm ready for Patreon because I just sit here and blabber to you guys for an hour a night, and I know that Patreon requires a little bit more things. So we're talking about what other things would be really cool, and I forget who said it. Let me see if it's in my email. Yes, somebody just sent it to me. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. It was, I'll find it in a second. Somebody made a recommendation that the tiers should be lemon bars, quiche, quiche supreme, and soda bread. And I was like, that's really cool. But, I have to earn that, man. There has to be some kind of cool thing. So we're talking about extracurricular things, videos, doing more video content that's not just the live stuff, shorts and stuff. I'm gonna explore all that this week, but some cool stuff. Jim Lassick, $4.99. There's never a wrong time to drink champagne. It pairs with everything properly. It sure does. And oddly enough, Mr. Lassick, it's always been a tradition for me and mine. Before we go on holiday vacation, we always stop at Bobby Vance, because I always flew out of the Kennedy terminal, and we always went in there and got a split or two of Piper, because that's what they have there. They don't have like Krug or anything unbelievable, but Piper will do. Good champagne is good champagne. I've got Roeder in there. I've got Veuve Clicquot, which I'll make salad dressing out of. But I hadn't drunk champagne in such a long time, and I really like it. There is a situation with champagne that I don't know if he'll get mad at me for saying this, but Paul has this issue called vasovagal, and we didn't know what it was. But here's the story. Here's a big story. It's a big story. So champagne is a contributor. I don't know if anybody knows what vasovagal syndrome is. Does anybody know? In the chats. Thank you, Jim Lassick, for $4.99. Appreciate that so much. So every once in a while, Paul faints, and we had no idea what it was. Drinking was usually involved. He's not a heavy drinker. He doesn't ever get drunk. He has a couple of cocktails, and he's the designated driver. Blah 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 blah. It was Wallace. Thank you, Wallace, very much. I'm gonna totally use those. Wallace was like, it was like soda bread, lemon bar, and quiche supreme. I loved it. Thank you, Wallace, so much. Tom Voss says, if you say no to champagne, you say no to life. I would agree with that. I love champagne. So we're trying to figure out what it was, and bad air, we don't go to clubs or any of that stuff. So here we are. My band Hitman is going to Athens, Greece to play a festival. And I think I might have told half of this story And I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying this. But whatever. This is my show. So we're flying Emirates from Newark because that's what the promoters booked for us. It wasn't a tour, it was one show. So the promoters of that tour booked our flights for all the acts that were flying in from wherever. I don't know what airline they flew. So they booked us on Emirates from Newark to Athens. So we get up to the front, and I think I've told this before. And the lady says, "Would you like to upgrade to business for $600?" I was like, "Absolutely!" And then P goes, "No, you can't do that. Take one for the team. Sit in the back of the bus because everybody's there." It was the other guys in the band, maybe the crew. We had some people with us. We had a little entourage, and then so I was like, "Oh fuck, I want to fly up front on Emirates." Anyway, so our friends Kate and Carl were there, who we absolutely love. They come to all my European shows, and they said, "Let's go have a couple of cocktails." Now, I'm a singer, and I generally don't do that before shows. Generally not. But it was 2 days away, so it's like, I'll have a glass of wine or two, and that'll be the end of it. So they were drinking champagne. They had 2 bottles. They had a red bottle and a bottle of champagne. So I had 2 glasses of champagne. I had she poured a third, and I didn't want to finish it, so Paul finished my champagne. We get on the flight. John, my guitar player, it's me, John, and Paul on the aisle. And the next thing you know, John goes, "Something's wrong. What's going on with Paul?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "He doesn't look good." I look up, I could see the lavatory section, and I see him hit the ground. Turns out, Emirates, by the way, unless you're flying in a premium class, they treated us like we were smuggling drugs. I know all the appropriate things to say to a flight attendant when somebody's got a medical emergency, because of my dad being with American for so long. And they basically said, he had 2.5 glasses of wine at an hour before, and then we had already had dinner, which was gross. And they didn't help at all. He vomited, he passed out. We didn't know if he was having a heart attack. We didn't know anything. Anyway, he's better, and then we get home and he gets tested. He has vasovagal. Turns out champagne. Here's the story. Champagne is a trigger for him for some crazy reason. I don't know what it is. Alcohol plus bubbles equals pass out. Anyway, vasovagal is a thing called flight or fight syndrome. Basically, it's when your body pools all of its blood into your legs. So all your blood goes from your head into your legs. It's very temporary. It does it quickly and releases. And they put you on this table, and they start to spin the table. And if you have vasovagal, you'll pass out in about like 1/10 of a second, which he did. So that's my story about that. Kent Deigel says, "I also passed out from roofies." I just watched a documentary on roofies because I wasn't sure what it was. GBH is roofie, rohypnol. That's really freaky. Bala says, "At Tobster McDonkey, actors play pretend for a living. I don't mind them saying what's important to them, but why would I or anyone have to care? We don't." Did you say, are you answering? Oh, okay. Tobster says, "Hunt for Red October is one of the best movies ever, but Bellman is a moron these days." It's not him. Okay. It's not him because he's so bright and he's such a great interview. And whenever he's so selfless. Whenever you hear an interview with him, he talks about Fred Astaire or somebody. He talks about somebody who influenced him. His book is so fucking amazing, beautifully written, and the one he narrates, because he's got that most amazing voice. He's a guy that had a bad cocaine habit in the 80s, overcame that, hasn't had a drink in 30 years. A lot of people like to blame him for being a drunk, and the guy has not drunk in well over 30 years, since the 80s. So it's not that. $2 from Dana, because vasovagal hates fun. It sure does. And that has, while he doesn't keep particularly kosher with that, I have to be the one that does. I always like, "Oh, no, Sean. No champagne, Sean. No. That's an impersonation of Sean Connery's wife that Alec Baldwin did when he met his idol at a party, and they were having a drink, and this is in the 80s. He's like, "Oh, here's some hors d'oeuvres." No, Sean. No d'oeuvres for Sean. High cholesterol. Champagne. No, Sean. No. With this woman, I can't have anything. And now he's gone. See this? I'm going to bang into this instead, but it's better than me banging into the watch, right? Yeah, because vasovagal's not fun. I mean, it could be worse. It could be, we didn't know if it was a heart thing. Who knows when you get above 40 plus, when stupid shit starts to happen. It gets really, really scary. But I do love champagne. Jim, I'm curious as to what your favorite champagne is. Me and my friends did a taste test once because we've had some bottles of some of the popular good ones. We had a bottle of Dom. We had a bottle. Oh, I was gonna say vintage Dom, but all Dom is vintage. They don't release it if it's not vintage. We had a bottle of just the Grand Cuvée Krug. We had a bottle of Le Grand Dame, and we had a bottle of Cristal. And we did, was a bunch of people. We just sat down and did a taste test on that, and just to see what everybody thought. And hands down, everybody agreed Krug was the best. It won by a country mile. Having said that, I did get a bottle of really old. It was 1989 Le Grand Dame, which for anybody who doesn't know what Le Grand Dame is, it's actually Veuve Clicquot's premier crew, their top of the line. And I just realized that, do I have a little bit of funny blue screen shit going on here? It's their top of the line, and it opened up, it was almost brown, and then the air hit it and it turned this golden straw color. It was the best tasting champagne I have ever had. Oh, Dana's favorite is Perrier Jouet with the hand painted bottle, because that's the good one, right? Because they make a couple of lesser ones. To be fair, Louis Roederer, the company that makes Cristal is very overrated champagne. I mean, I've tasted it on numerous occasions, and I think it's okay. Krug to me has got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I do love Dom. I have to say, I do. I like it, but I like some of the lesser brands. I love me some Piper. I really do. I really do. Jim Lassick says, "Oh shit! Look now. Okay, ready for this, Jim? I was just about to say my favorite is Bollocks RD, because here's a funny story. Ready, Dana? We go about this all the time. 10 years ago, the two of us were in Paris. I was her escort at a wedding in London, and we decided to go to Paris, and she had never been. And I wanted to play Mr. Fancy Pants and take her to all my favorite Parisian places. So we couldn't get into the Georges Cinq. It was booked out. So we booked the Prince de Gaulle, which had been refurbished. It is absolutely spectacular. Shares a wall with the Georges Cinq. And they have this beautiful bar downstairs called Les Yeux. And she was all ready to hit the Bordeaux Trail. Let's hit the Bordeaux Trail. Well, I was in Paris and I was fancying a bit of champagne. So I ordered a bottle of RD. And I love Bollocks. It's my favorite. So there we go, Jim Lassick. I agree. While Krug might have won that race, and I've never A-B'd it against the RD, I absolutely love Bollocks. And Bollocks, by the way, for everybody who doesn't know, is the official champagne of James Bond. Yes. Dean says that Dom Perignon champagne is nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Dom. You can't go wrong with a bunch of, there's a lot of small producers. I'm not all that up on them all, but there's so many little producers that are whatever, you know. Tina says Dirk treated me so. Yeah, well, please, woman, treated you treated me to a million things in this world. I had just done a jingle, so I was like a little, like, ghetto rich, and I was like, I'm gonna blow it all in Paris. And she sang on it too. And here's the funny part, it kept getting rejected every time I did it. It was like a 30-second and a bumper, which is a 10-second ID. I used to write music for this children's network, Cubo. You can actually find it. It's all over the intraweb. And I did a million. And then the Hail Mary was, I said, you want to come in here and try? Because she's a lovely singer. Dana's got a beautiful, beautiful voice. She's a musical theater major. And while she might be this corporate honcho and powerful businesswoman, she's a really creative artist. And she studied, in theater and college and stuff. And she's terrific. She came in here. They loved it. Sold like a week before we left. And they never used it. They never used it. but they paid me 10 grand for it. And we just spent it in Paris. It was the ultimate Roy move. You don't need to get that, and I'm not going to go any further, but she does. I was like, fuck it. It was really good. But those were in the days when SPG was still around and I had SPG points. I actually got that hotel, the Prince de Gaulle, is on Avenue du Georges V. And it's right, literally, them and the Georges V share a wall. And I had been to Georges V before because of my mother-in-law's got corporate affiliations there. And, it's pretty great. And I remember used to walk past the Prince de Gaulle and go, "Oh, look at this place. It's right next door and it's such a dump. What's the matter with this place?" Well, the fairy queens showed up and the Arabs with the money, and they whirlpooled, they tornadoed their fairy dust all over this place and turned it into this magnificent beast of a hotel. And it was gorgeous. We had a balcony overlooking Avenue de Georges V, and there's a courtyard that's heated. We were there in December 5th. We got there, and I only remember that because it's my sister Pat's birthday. And we got there, and it turns out friends who have a pied-à-terre in Paris, they came, and then afterwards we wound up having a party in our room and ordering tons and tons and tons of food. Like, we were ordering pasta in France because we're trash. Then there was a lot of Bordeaux drinking that night. And I remember waking up and it seriously looked like Joe Walsh had been there. I mean, there was bottles everywhere. There were cigarette ashtrays in the room. It was absolutely fucking stupid. But it was one of the best times I've ever had in my entire life. Beautiful wedding, great friendship, and a hilarious weekend. It was a weekend. That was all it was a weekend. And Laverne's yelling at me. "Why are you yelling at me? You want to come in here?" Mr. Bad Gas, who has been properly introduced to me via email. Champagne goes well in a martini Bellini. My version is a shot of peach schnapps, vodka, a martini glass with champagne, water required in between, limited to 3 a night. What an interesting cocktail, Dana. Maybe we'll have that while you're in town. That sounds great. Fantastic. Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. Cheap champagne gives me a headache. So does Cristal. Might as well get a case of Miller High Life. Ugh. Yeah. I'm not the beerest guy in the whole wide world, but man, Miller is the one that never drinking that. It tastes like it's creamy. It's got this creamy, sweet back end on it, which I just think is gross. I do like Bud in a long neck bottle, though. I like my Bud in a long neck bottle. I like my Bud every day. Yeah, sorry, I like it, but Miller is gross. Yeah, cheap champagne, you can't drink cheap champagne. It's like Prosecco. Prosecco is great in small amounts. You can't have a lot of Prosecco because you will get a headache from that. It's too much residual sugar. In Italy, they have like I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. They have a method champagne called Franciacorta, which is their version of champagne, which is freaking delicious. Delicious. Dana O'Malley says she was shelved. Yeah, well, fucking, who cares? It paid for France. Who gives a shit? I don't care if they use it. Who cared? Carrie says, "Did you guys get AA?" Yeah, we did. And my friend, one of my bar patrons, Coretta, was the flight attendant. And he moved his flight around. That's his nickname, Coretta. But he moved his flight around so he could be on our flight. And so we get on the flight and we're in first, like proper first, not business first. And they have a welcome drink, which is like some kind of crappy champagne in a plastic glass. And she goes to Greta. She goes, "Okay, no, this is not going to work. I want the good stuff now." And he went in the back and he got us a bottle of it. And I believe it was, God, I don't remember, but it was something really decent. It's the word I can't pronounce. It's Grand Sicile. I'm assuming it's the French word for Sicily, but that's what it was, and it was very, very, very good. But she was like, it was hilarious. And Ray says, Dana, you're a gas ticket. You definitely win Lovely Girls Cost. She definitely does. And by the way, the best crack in town ever. And I mean that in the terms of Irish fun. You know, she's like, you want to hang out with her. She's great. She's like the best crack in town. I mean, we got to London. We went to this beautiful, beautiful wedding, which was in an abbey, and there was horse-drawn carriages. It was lovely. We didn't partake in that part. Took the Eurostar to Paris. Took a nap, as you do. Then we went to Arc de Triomphe, Montmartre. One of the funniest parts of that trip was we went down to we were on our way to Montmartre, and we got to the Pigalle. You know, it's where we took the train. We took the metro a lot. And she actually got separated from me because they have those two sets of the plexiglass and the thing. And I was like, oh my God, I've lost Emmett's wife in Paris. She's going to wind up in Morocco. She wound up back at the hotel because she's an adult woman and she knows what she's doing. She's not a child. That's how I was reacting. So we get to the Pigalle, which is like the sleazy Times Square gross area. And there's like all these like guys from Bangladesh going, iPhone 15, iPhone 6. This is 10 years ago when iPhone like 3GS was out. They're like, iPhone 14, iPhone 15, Galaxy 6000, Galaxy 6000. Like, I was like, I want to see the iPhone 15. What does that look like? How many megapixels is that camera? Yeah, so we definitely got first, and it was great. It was just the best trip ever, you know, and it was quick. We left on a Thursday, and we were back on the Monday. I think it was that quick. We did Paris. We went to my favorite restaurant in Paris, where these Americans started putting holistic oils on these. Like essential oils, eucalyptus. They were like eucalyptus in a gastronomy pub on the Rue de Marbeuf. It's called Chez André. It's a beautiful place. It's Via Marbeuf, Rue de Marbeuf, and it's in the 16th. Beautiful place. And they ruined the dinner I was most excited of. And Nathaniel, we drank Nathaniel wine, which is a vintage. Hey, you're yelling. Why are you yelling? Come here, baby. Cat's Laverne's yelling at me in the other room. Come here, sweetheart. Why are you yelling? And Nathaniel is a Baron Philippe de Rothschild, one of their signature wines. It's, probably like $50-$60 a bottle, but it's fantastic. And I believe it's 100% Merlot. I believe it is. Yeah, Chez André, that's the place. Best food in Paris. Steve McDonald. Steve McDonald says for £99. Well done on the 2000th. Here's a great show. Thank you very much. With a wide spread of topics. Hey, man, these topics are all about you and all about what we think about them. And that's all they are. That's what we do. Anyway, guys, it is time to get into viewer shots. Thank you so much, Steve McDonald. Time to watch some shots tonight. Okay, let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start with, when is this from? I got to just see the last ones I looked at. I'm going to start there. Why shouldn't I? I hope I didn't forget anybody's shots. Let's start with Chris. Start with Chris wearing the yachty. I might have showed this on Friday. If I did, I apologize. But it's cool. Let's see it again because I didn't star everybody like I usually do. I usually do that. Beautiful on your very attractive manly wrist. Got to have a manly wrist to be on my show. I don't want to see any clocks on people's wrists. Don't want to see. Oh, yeah, I didn't see these. Okay. This is the way we do it so we don't dox people. Takes a couple. It's a little bit extra, but that's okay. We got Speedy times 2. Speedy on the bracelet. And we got Speedy on the leather. Both of them looking beautiful. Love that. Little fuzzy, but that's okay. It's okay. We'll live with that. I do love when the photography is crisp and clean. It's better for you. It's better for your shots. Better for your shots, people. Let's go with dun, dun, dun. The next one is it's another one from Mr. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Speedy Tuesday, kids, and that's what we are looking at. We are looking at look at this manly hairy wrist on this beast. That is a beautiful Omega Speedmaster Professional on the classic bracelet that's had forever, which I'm sure is going to, even though it's different on the 3861, I know that they are definitely working on a new bracelet because I heard the scuttlebutt, and I'm not one of those guys that does the predictions because I'm not in that world. However, I was talking to somebody who works for Omega, and they said complete new redesign on the Speedmaster bracelet completely, and it's probably going towards flat links. That's beautiful, and that cappuccino looks absolutely delightful. It sure do. And Kieran Kelly, guitarist. Where's Sam Led Consulting tonight? Where are you, man? I don't see you. Miss you. He says, I've lost you to her. No, you can never lose your special girl. You can't do it. Look at that. She's a beauty. Oh man, I love when they do that. But I call that the under the car cat when they do that. Whenever you see a stray cat and they're under a car, they do that because it looks like they're cold. I know that's not the reason why they do it, but it just looks like it to me. It just looks like it to me. Okay, so Mark Wilde. Now we're getting into spaces where we can. This is Mark Wilde, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got. Oh, he's got a Panerai. Look at that. Oh boy, let's blow that up. Ooh, child. That is beautiful. Yeah, not a lot of people can. He's got a big wrist. He can pull that off. Lucky him. As most people cannot. This is him on his motorcycle looking very, very cool. Is that a BMW? It looks like a BMW to me. Oh, yeah. I've seen this before. Okay, this is a great shot. That almost looks like Photoshop, dude. It's so beautiful. Right, that's in Scotland, right? I believe it is. I believe it is. And yeah, let's get more of him. I have Michael McDonald in my brain. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's BMW. Beautiful. Okay, just give me better, clearer shots. Okay. All right. Well, better double than not at all, as I always say. Hey man, this part of the show belongs to you guys. You can show. We can talk about your stuff. It's very important that everybody knows. I don't have a picture from Ash, but he's going to send me a picture of his vintage DeVille. But we have Jim coming up, Mr. Culver. This is a collection, so this is going to be extensive for us to talk about. Oh boy, it's a whole litany of Omega's Speedmaster, Planet Ocean, that is the Dark Side of the Moon racing with is that a reduced? No, it's the regular professional. Look at that, with all a bunch of the original Chris Wards with the old logo. Those are very popular back in the day, right? Look at that. Oh God, it's so hard for me to pick a favorite. Oh my God. I mean, obviously Top Row because I'm an Omega guy. I don't think I could pull off a Planet Ocean. I think they're just one. I just think they're just a little too big for me. Just a little bit. They're a big watch for a big man. Got to be a big man to handle that. Look at this collection of G-Shocks. He's got a long. What is that? Oh wow. I like your little setup too. Nice composition. Looks beautiful. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. And then this is one of the original Chris Wards. He's a big aficionado of the original Chris Wards. You know what? They just look higher quality to me, higher quality than they do now. I don't know what happened to Chris Ward, but I know that that's a brand that a lot of you guys are into. I know it, but I'll be honest with you. Here is let me see who this is first of all. Oh, I do have an Ash. Thank you so much. Look at this beautiful DeVille Automatic. Oh, you did send it. Thank you so much, Ash. Great. This is vintage DeVille Automatic day date. Look at that. These are hard to come by. I've looked for ones that are similar to that, and this is a sector of Omega fandom that went from being very very inexpensive to being kind of scary. It's going up there. Vintage Omega is out of control. It's like Speedmasters right now. Speedmasters are expensive as fuck. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Speedmasters. Here's one from Dean. It's a Seconda 15 joules stopwatch. I love stopwatches, man. I love them. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a stopwatch. It's a pocket. It's a pocket watch. I mean, it is, but it's a stopwatch. Look at that. Made in the USSR. Oh, man. Doesn't that make it even more fun? Well, that Soviet shit was cool. Because everything they have now is rusty and crap, obviously, because, you know, they should have been able to defeat the Ukraine had they wanted to. They should have been able to do it in a half an hour. And the only reason why they haven't is because they all their shit is rotting. Their stuff is just crap. Look at this shot. Oh boy. This is a Speedmaster at Le Louvre. If you know, speaking of Paris, look at that. That is absolutely now that's what I'm talking about with a flat link bracelet. That's got twisted lugs on it. So I'm a little curious as to, you know, I'm pretty good at that, but it's got a dot over 90. Send me the reference of that because I've got 4 references running in my head and I don't want to be wrong, but that's got a flat link bracelet on it. So I'm just curious as to what that is. So, I mean, is that a 1966? You tell me what it is because I don't want to, because, you know, I'm the Speedmaster guru, so I don't want to fuck that up because I have questions about that. I'm wondering if you changed the bracelet on that. I don't know if you did, but let me look at that email. Actually, did you say anything about it? You didn't. Okay, well, that's fair. That's fair. Then we got Dean, who has got everybody. Dean got the new Starbucks, and he sent us a bunch of shots. Is this a video? Is this a wrist roll? No, it's just a clasp. Okay. Oh, look at that, man. Congratulations, man. Look at that. And couldn't go on a more manly wrist than this guy. Look at the fit and finish on that watch. I love the lighting on that because I love the way it makes the green pop, pop, pop. Looks great on your extremely masculine wrist. Because you want to pull off a masculine wrist, you can't be like a little boy from Taiwan. You can't be the little twink from Indonesia. You can't wear big watches. You can't wear a man's watch. It's just you should wear something cute. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. In brushed, brush up. Beautiful, man. Congratulations on that thing. That is absolutely gorgeous. That's a lifetime of happiness, man, for you. Al de Benedetti. Ciao, come stai, Al? Let's see what we got here. We've got a Boulevard. Look at this. Look at Boulevard making some great shit happen. Look at that. I'm going to blow that up. Look at that. That's a beautiful piece, huh? Boulevard, no longer made in Queens, New York. But look at that. Oh man. And I love that. That was originally the Accutron logo. Because Boulevard made Accutron. And Accutron was like the first kind of, you know, electronic-y watch. And then they spun it off. And now Accutron is a separate label from Boulevard. But that's what they were. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that logo. I think it's one of the coolest trademarks, if you will. Thank you so much. Where did I go? Did I lose you? Oh, there's Aldo Benny. From Steve. This is from Steve, everybody. Look at this. His Submariner peeking out of his very well-appointed jumper and gray jacket. It looks like a beautiful day there. Look at that. That's the way. Look at that. That's a perfectly sized watch for this gentleman's wrist. Okay. Sometimes I can't tell. Oh, look at that. It's absolutely fucking beautiful. Oh man. Is that the 50 foot? Is that what it's called? The 50 foot or the 40 foot in Dublin? If you're in the room tonight, Al De Benedetti, could you let me know? There's a place in Dublin where everybody goes to get to the water when it's really cold outside. And you go in there and you it is 40 foot. It is the 40 foot in Dublin. But it's Stephen Kellner. Sorry, Kelleher sent that. Sorry, not Aldo Benedetti. Yes, it is the 40 foot. But boom. And I don't know Dublin all that well because we're Westies, we're Colchies from Sligo. But I saw it on the Bad Sisters. And then I asked Asheen, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then his mother said, it's the 40 foot. So, yeah, so we got some new ones. Hey, from my dear friend Ian, who wrote, he makes these cute little things for me. Dirk, weekdays better than finding water in the desert. Sun's out, tongue's out. He makes these cute little cat things. He's a wonderful guy. Great stories. I can't thank you enough, Ian, for all that you do. You're an absolute legend. Wallace 9. Oh man, look at this. You're a legend with the cats. See, I love this. This is what this channel's about. Look at this. Look at this beast. Obviously, look at I love the different color paws. You got a white paw, you got a gray paw, and this is a cat ready to pounce. This is when they do this thing and they start to wiggle their arse and they get ready to pounce on something. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, what a beauty, man. What's the name of that? What's that? Arbo. That's the name of your cat, Arbor. Ray. Oh. Oh my God, who is that? Is that your doggy on the boat? Look at that. Look at the fisherman's nets. Wow, the fisherman's ropes. What a pal. That looks like your best friend. If it's not, I'd be shocked. What an absolute beauty. Let's blow him up because he's adorable. Look at this baby. What a sweetie. What a sweetie. Oh man, thank you for that. You've got your dog on the boat. Okay, so we got the last two shots are from Mr. Ray, and they are as follows. A Seiko Sports Automatic 2410 bar. Look at that thing. This is vintage, man. Vintage. Look at that. I need to get invested in the Seiko. Hey, just so everybody knows, I was planning on featuring WJ74. Hopefully he was going to send us pictures because, he won his watch. He won the land tortoise. He's had it for about 3 weeks. Sending out positive vibes to him because he's not responded to anybody's emails, not just me, but Asheen. We've all reached out. I know it was delivered to him, but we've not heard. I've not seen him on any of the shows. I am worried about him. So let's all just say a little prayer for our dear friend WJ74 because we don't know where he is. He won the watch and then he freaking vanished. Look at this red sun from the boat. Look at that from the boat. Where are you going? Where were you going, Ray? Where were you going? That's beautiful. So you on a cargo ship? Cargo. Amazing. Okay, that's wrist shots. So send your shots to basherdirk@gmail.com for tomorrow's show. Let's see what we missed on the comments side of things. We have Bala said those Yachtmaster 42s are so legible and rugged. Yeah, yet still classy and somewhat blingy. Not too blingy. I agree. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think I would. If I was to the next Rolex, if I did a Rolex, I'd want a sub, but I would love a Sky Dweller. I just think they're amazing. Ray, sorry, sent wrong photo. Well, Max had enough that day. Show me the way to go. Show me the way to go home. Well, there's always tomorrow. The Brusalem said, Shint new thing syndrome. I don't know what that means, but and then Stephen Keller said, yeah, the 40-foot Sandy Cove. I've never been. I only saw it on that show, Bad Sisters, which was a really good show. Sharon Horgan, writer, director, star. She's a genius. And Bono's daughter was in it as well. Yeah. Mark Wild says, thanks for sharing my pictures. The scenic view is Wildstill Head Lake District. Oh, voted England's favorite view. Yeah, I've never been anywhere near the Lake District, but I hear it's some of the most beautiful places in the entire universe. And that's where you guys all go on holiday, right? So they say, right? So let's just give a shout out to everybody's super chats. We had Andrew Wolkovich, Nathaniel Hannon, Scotty H, Mark Wild, Jim Lassick, and Dana O'Malley. And then we got Mr. Bad Gas, Nathaniel Hannon again, Steve McDonald. Thank you so much, everybody, for that. I'm working on the memberships and Patreon and getting that and extracurricular activities, things that'll go really well for the channel. And I can't thank you enough. Also, the new gong's on the way. I did find one that I think will work for us. That should maybe be here tomorrow. It might very well be. maybe to make things more interesting, more fun, more exciting for everybody, including myself. So I just want to thank you all for that. And Ray says, thank you, Dirk. You rock. I love you, man. I love you, man. I can't tell you how much the love that I've been feeling from everybody on the channel and turning into this kind of nice people's community has been something kind of maybe missing, where we all have opinions and they might not be fashionable and they might not be exactly up your street, but everybody has a right to vent when they need to vent. And that doesn't make, just because somebody's this way or that way or whatever, unless you murder children or animals, people aren't bad people in general. And it's nice to find a bunch of people who can get together and talk about nice things, beautiful watches, your cat, your dog, the quiche you baked, or the cupcakes or whatever. And remember, pictures aren't just for wrist shots. They could be your new holiday home. They could be a great trip you went on. They could be a picture of your boo-boo. I have a boo-boo. It could be anything. I'm going to change it. It used to be wrist shots. I'm going to just call it viewer forum, because it's a place where we can just get to know each other a little bit better and make life a little bit more fun for everybody. So until then, just remember to hold the door open, say please and thank you, and don't be a dick, unless of course they're a total.